So according to some weirdo San Francisco tech bro, it's sexist to compliment your wife on her appearance rather than on her virtues and skills. He says in this now viral tweet, once you notice how often beautiful is used as a default compliment for women, it's hard to unsee. Instead of my gorgeous wife, may I suggest describing her as courageous, sincere, virtuous, earnest, patient, determined, or, as a general fallback, loving. These don't roll off the tongue as easily, but partly that's because we're not used to them. The other problem is that these words are too informative. Saying them actually conveys an opinion, which is scary. Unlike beautiful, or that most insipid of compliments, lovely.
Wait, so is beautiful not an opinion as well?
Yeah, I don't really understand what he's getting at there. Even if there's always pressure towards making compliments more generic, though, we can at least use generic compliments which reward people for trying to cultivate traits we care about rather than rewarding immutable traits or misspent effort.
I did, in fact, text my wife, "You are so courageous and sincere." She said, "Shut up and call me hot." You're hot.
The thing I'm really
hot.
looking for is a shorter, more elegant way of saying high integrity. Maybe principled, honorable, trustworthy. My honorable wife actually has a bit of a ring to it. Perhaps I'll see
No,
if I
it
can get
doesn't.
that to catch on. You're not going to get that to catch on, dude. Come on. Is this guy even married? Like, he's tweeting about this as if he's married, but I'm not entirely sure. And if he is, his wife is probably miserable. And then he responded to someone in the thread saying, outcompeting other women is nice, but other traits are much more positive. Some, analogously, many women enjoy wearing makeup, but also women as a collective would save a lot of time and money and also feel less pressure about how they look if not wearing makeup were normalized. Many women love being called beautiful, and that's partly innate and natural, but it's also partly because we've all done such a bad job at modeling and celebrating other admirable traits. No need to go cold turkey on beautiful, but you should vary it up. No!
They don't want it to be to be varied. They don't want it to be switched up every now and then.
So, can you just do me a favor and go to this man's page and just pull up his profile picture
Is it
for me?
the from the main?
Richard No is his name.
Okay.
I believe he might have taken his wife's name.
Okay.
So just so we know who we're talking about.
Looks like Pauly Shore.
Yeah, this is the guy who's telling you how to run your marriage.
Okay. Well, he's giving his opinion.
An AI San Francisco tech bro who looks like a chick.
Okay.
An ugly chick. One of the responses from a woman said, once you notice how often strong is used as a default compliment for men, it's hard to unsee. Instead of my strong husband, may I suggest just describing him as delicate, gentle, soft, or as a generic fallback, bestie.
Literally every one of those is insulting to any straight man.
And this guy is currently doubling down on his original take in response to the backlash and retweeting all of the people that are echoing his sentiment. One said, all of this goes to show that women are primarily valued for their beauty and nothing else. If you have a bunch of great qualities, but you're ugly, it's over for you. Okay. I gave this some thought. And I don't think that complimenting anyone, including your spouse, on their looks is superficial. I actually don't, especially when it's a woman, because I do think when a woman takes care of her appearance and puts thought and effort into her appearance with, growing out and taking care of her hair, doing her makeup, adorning herself with jewelry, dressing in a feminine, beautiful way. These are reflective of internal virtues anyway. So in a way, when you compliment the outward part of someone, you're also complimenting the interior.
Yes.
I guess that's what is lost on someone like Richard Nyo, who works with robots all the time. He doesn't really understand humans anymore. That's the only way I could make sense of his take.
I'm in the chat right now currently giving my wife all the compliments that a woman could possibly want. I said that she has great posture. She's so well read and she's so well mannered.
I mean, that's great once in a while. Like, no one is saying to never compliment your wife on things related to her character or personality.
She's
but
so courageous.
to say that it's like somehow demeaning to compliment her on her looks is outrageous, because women really care about being beautiful, and I think that's a beautiful thing about women, is that they care about not only being beautiful but also making their environment beautiful.
Yeah, it's why, gentlemen, suddenly your house has a bunch of stuff that you never would have ever.
Well, yeah.
This is a universal truth, as close to a universal truth as it can be, is that you will suddenly be surrounded by much that comes from TJ Maxx.
That's why they say, you know, and it can get to an extreme, but that's why they say that a woman is capable of making a house a home.
Yes.
And I don't really like those memes with the lawn chair and the TV on the floor that say they hate how little it takes to make us happy, because I don't think that someone who lives like that has completed their life.
Okay. Yes.
If they're not living in community with another person or a family.
One of the ongoing tropes that will happen in a movie, well, it's more often in a television show, is when two characters get married, or they're going to move. They don't get married. They're finally moving in together, and then they have to fight over whose furniture they're going to keep and whose stuff they're going to keep. And then eventually down the line, the guy comes home one day and the home is unrecognizable because the woman has made the house a home.
This reply, beauty is the girl virtue, courage, intelligence, etc. are boy virtues, is deeply grim. Here's the insidious lie in all of that is that the things that women concern themselves with are inherently superficial and vapid. That's actually more sexist than anything. I've noticed that. And again, it's a bad moment. It's a bad timing to bring this up, but I saw this clip of Charlie Kirk last month that stuck with me, where he was speaking to an audience at a college, and I'm not even disagreeing with what he said in the clip. I'm disagreeing with the reaction of the crowd. He was trying to explain the differences in the way that women interact with each other compared to the way that men interact with each other. And he was saying, you know, when you imagine the type of conversations going on between the male students on this campus, they're probably talking about like macro concepts. They're talking about politics, or they're talking about sports, things outside of them, maybe things that are concerned with numbers and statistics and ideas. And then if you imagine the average conversation that's taking place between women on this campus, they're probably talking about relationships and people that they know, conversations that they've had.
It's the meme of like the guy tells his girlfriend that his best friend broke up with his girlfriend. And she's like,
"Why?
what happened?"
What
and
happened?
He's like,
how do you not know?
He's like, I don't know.
Why didn't you ask?
That's literally that's literally me about everything.
Yes.
Everybody, whether it's you, whether it's Olivia, people are like, so what happened? I'm like, I have no idea.
Well, when Charlie made that distinction, which is a true distinction to make, the crowd reacted kind of by laughing at what women concern themselves with. Like, oh, that's so stupid that women care about relationships.
It's how they
That's
process
so
the world.
superficial that they care about talking about relationships and conversations and people. That in and of itself is exactly why we have so much confusion these days, where women are weirdly envious of men because they're told that being a woman, being feminine, is not enough. It's not sufficient. You have to conform yourself to the accomplishments that we praise in men in order to be an acceptable woman.
Wait, what was it that Jaden Smith said? I just want to talk about politics.
He's like, can we just talk about the political and economic state of the world right now?
Like, that's like, they want all women to be Jaden Smith.
Yeah, he's like, when you see like girls, they're like, selfie, and I'm just like, can we talk about the political and economic state of the world right now? And it's not an either or situation. There's a false dichotomy between those two things, and also one is not inherently better than the other, and one cannot exist without the other. If the world were run by just men, I'm gonna be honest, it wouldn't be worth all of, like, think about how many achievements men have made in human history, and would they have done it without women?
They would not have.
They wouldn't have done it, first off, of course, without their mothers, but also they wouldn't have done any of it because who would they be doing it for?
They want the status. They want all the rewards that come from accomplishment.
They want honor and respect. That's part of the reason why men feel so listless today, is because they feel like even if they do dedicate themselves to a cause or to improving themselves or accomplishing things, they're not going to be respected for it, and they're not going to find any, earthly reward for it. That's a huge problem. And meanwhile, women are told that the things they're naturally interested in, including physical beauty, both on themselves and around themselves, that's worthless. And so they have to conform themselves to the stereotypes of the worst men on the planet in order to be sufficient. So there's a lot of lies buried in just this one tweet that became fodder for internet discourse that I wanted to illuminate.
I think you're right about all of it. I think it's a very interesting discussion because people are being told to reject what comes naturally to them as men and women, and that's good. And like you said, the person's background tells you a lot about what their view of the world is and how they'd like to see it change. Yeah. And I do think that that
probably
position,
transhumanist.
Well, that position is even. I mean, that's a pretty generically feminist position from 2018 Twitter.
Maybe even before that.
Earlier.
Maybe like
no 2010,
BuzzFeed
2012.
feminism.
Yes, it is. It's like. It is. It's like what? No, it's literally from the SNL skit about Levi Wokes, where she's like, my size, why don't you ask me about my accomplishments? That's what it is.
By the way, in the replies, the OP did admit that he does not have a wife. So he's giving all of the world his personal marriage advice when he is not married, which is, that speaks for itself. And in case I hadn't made myself clear enough, physical beauty and the pursuit of physical beauty is a virtue in a woman. That is speaking to her character. If a woman is neglecting her appearance, dresses like a slob, doesn't take care of her physical health, doesn't care at all about being beautiful, that does speak to something negative in her spiritually. So when you compliment a woman on her looks, you are in a way complimenting her on her character as well.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.